Hey, welcome everybody. It's Open Gym with Jimmy and Steve.
How's it going?
Episode number 2. Hold on a second.
All right. There you go.
I'm going to hear the bathroom fan in the background. All right, cool. So today is episode number 2. We got a lot of good feedback about episode number 1. Jimmy, I see you have a big stack of Earth-Fed Muscle products.
Yes, Steve. Today's Open Gym Live is sponsored by the one and only Earth-Fed Muscle.
Nice.
Great protein recovery drinks.
So a lot of people have been asking about the protein. It only has like 3 ingredients, I think, in it, maybe 4 ingredients in it. So that's always a good sign that it's a good product. The less crap you have stuff in there you can't pronounce, that's not a good sign. That's a pretty simple thing we can go by. People have been asking about, just pick it up off the shelf, write it down on the charge account, and
Cheers.
Yep, cheers. You take it with you. There are different. Just got to be careful if you're looking at prices. Some of the different flavors have different pricing, but
Strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, and banana, all different pricing. So make sure you pay attention to that.
all right. Also, we just put up another post because Jimmy, people weren't paying attention the last time. They're still
Big
asking.
surprise, Steve.
They're asking about the anniversary party.
I think it's on September 9th.
I heard it was on Saturday, September 9th.
Yeah.
So today I created an Instagram post, and that's also, I think Jenny wrote something on Facebook as well. So September 9th, we're having our anniversary party. Thanks again. It's for everybody past, future, and present who's made this possible. This is our what year?
This is like our 20th year.
No, it's not.
9th year?
10th year. I think it's our 9th year. Next year,
we're all rolling together.
Year number 10. It's hard to keep track. Yeah. So today we have a special guest. We're doing it a day early because you and I are going down to North Carolina tomorrow. The other supplements that we do carry in the gym, the Isotonics products, they have product symposiums throughout the year. Hi, Megan. All right. And hey, and so we go down there and we learn about new products or new research about the products, things like that. So we'll be doing that this weekend. So we won't be able to go live tomorrow, Jim. We won't be
live
here
today. Special time today.
All right. So we have a special guest today, Evan Haines. He recently came to our gym. He is a teens athlete, 2-time teens athlete at the Reebok CrossFit Games. So last year, I think he went as a 15-year-old. This year was his first year as a 16-year-old. So let's bring him in. Welcome.
All right, hey.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on, Evan? How you doing?
All right. So, Evan, we got some questions for you. I'll let Jimmy lead off over there.
So I think, you're pretty new to the gym. You've only been here about a month now, maybe 2. Not many people know who you are. They don't know anything about you. So let's start off just simply tell us a little bit about yourself. Age, a little bit.
So I'm Evan Haines. I'm 16 years old. I've been doing CrossFit for about almost 5 years now, I think. So, and then I recently just joined Westchester in the beginning of the summer. Just kind of been training for the games, getting ready, all that, hanging out. So, yeah.
And
Evan, where do you go to school?
I actually go to online school.
Okay.
I go to Laurel Springs Online School. I used to go to Malvern Prep for 4 years, and then through this last year, I kind of talked to my parents that I wanted to really do online school for training, just to take up training a lot more. And I started in the summer, took a week off, and then started Laurel Springs as a junior.
How do you like that?
It's awesome.
Compared to Malvern Prep, just not necessarily a school. I don't care about the school. No plug. They're not paying for their time here. But we do. Jim Wingert, one of our owners, he went to Malvern Prep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, how does that compare? Like the idea of online schooling versus, hey, you got to show up, you go to school, somebody's telling you what to do. It's a little more free based.
It's a lot better of a schedule, and especially for me for training with what training I was doing at Malvern, waking up really early before school to work out was really rough. And then just the time after school was also like I didn't have enough time on my day to do the amount of training I wanted to prepare for the Open and for the games and all that. So when I went to online school, I have such a better schedule, a much flexible day of training. I can break up my workouts throughout the day, and I don't have to squeeze everything in, which is really nice. That's the best part about it, because I'm not doing anything more with going to online school in training wise. But it's just split up throughout the day a lot.
Right, instead of have to pack it in. So I think that's a big question. A lot of people are like, hey, we're going to talk some more about your background, how you got into CrossFit. I mean, I think that's always a cool story. But when people talk about training, people lose, I think, sight, Jim, of when, we have CrossFit for what I call the look good naked plan, right? We just want to be fit. We don't want to be the fat dad or mom at
General population.
My brother says that all the time.
Right? Yes, it gets around. So I'm going to trademark that, make some money off it, but I didn't say it first. But yeah, just general overall health. And then we have, because there's this competitive side, I think people sometimes, the average mom and dad or the average Joe or Jane, they get confused with, like, they see the games and that's inspiring, but they go, oh, well, CrossFit's not for me. These guys are throwing up all this weight. They're doing these multiple workouts in a day. So I think sometimes that kind of gets lost. When did you kind of make that transition?
So the time, like when I first did CrossFit for, I would say about a year and a half when I was starting, I was just trying to get fit. Like that's what it was. I was still playing sports. I was
just working out, being a normal guy, being like,
just hanging out. Like I didn't know how serious I would take it, and I was playing lacrosse at the time.
For Malvern Prep?
No, I was playing like a club team.
Okay.
When I first started, and then the time back in 7th grade, I guess, like towards the end of the year, I really started to take it seriously. Like I kind of wanted to make CrossFit my only thing I would do. So I quit lacrosse, which was like, I gave it up for CrossFit pretty much. Like I stopped sports, yeah. And CrossFit became my like #1 sport. So through that year, I became more serious about it. And then in 8th grade, a year later, I found out about teenagers doing the open, and
so that cool.
Really kicked it into gear because I really started to take training seriously, and I didn't know that like we were going to the games until mid-open. So that was when I really started to take it seriously.
Right, I remember that year because they were like, "Hey, are we going to have a team division?" I think they did something online.
Yeah.
People were like, "Well, why can't they go?"
Yeah.
Or it was supposed to be an exhibition, I think, the year before that, and so that's pretty interesting.
So I want you to kind of get into a little bit how your workouts are now compared to when you were just doing it for fitness. Now you're doing it for sport.
Yeah.
So most people come in, they do a workout in class, and then that's it. And that's all they really need. But for an athlete who wants to actually go to the games and be competitive nowadays, take us through a day in the life of your training.
A day in the life of Haines.
My normal day, especially for training with the games and having school, I would usually have about 3 sessions in the day. I would have a morning session where I just did one like aerobic workout, nothing body weight, nothing terrible. And I usually did that in the morning. Then I kind of hung out, did some school, and then midday that's when I would do my lifting and one more workout, just to hit a barbell workout, something quick and fast. Just getting used to working out throughout the day, just for the games and all that. And then I came here around like 3 o'clock, and that's what you can see me do about like 3 more workouts, 2 more workouts in the day. Do the class.
So you're looking at 5 workouts a day almost.
Yeah, almost. Usually I averaged 4, I think, but some days I would go to 5, just because if I felt like I did one and it wasn't that bad of a workout.
And how many days a week would you do that for?
I did 4 a day for 6 days out of the week, I would say, Monday to Saturday, and then Sunday would be a lighter day. I would do like 2 or 3, but it would be longer workouts. I wouldn't weightlift in that day, but I still get as much as I could.
Yeah. That takes a lot of time too.
Oh yeah, it does.
So for someone who has a job or goes to school full time, that's pretty hard to.
Yeah, and I kept a good schedule with it, especially school. That actually worked out great with what I was doing in school, with starting in the summer. But it did take away time from my summer. Like my parents rent a beach house down in Seattle for the summer and go down weekends. I didn't really spend any time at the beach because I was training. And now I get to take some time a little bit now that the games are past. But training for the games and training to be a great athlete in the sport kind of takes a lot of that away.
I'm sure.
Which I'm fine with. Like missing a beach day is not that big of a deal. Like I'm okay skipping that for training and all that. So I love it enough to sacrifice that kind of stuff.
Good. So I remember my first workout was like Filthy 50.
Yeah.
Which
Mine too.
I did not get through, not at the same time though.
No.
And but I remember doing that workout, being about 45 minutes in, and going, all right, from my other previous training protocols, I'd be like, all right, I shouldn't be working out more than 45 minutes or to an hour. Like that's too much, for me. So I'll just end the workout here. I remember that. Do you remember your very first like CrossFit workout?
I don't remember the exact workout, but I remember like being there and doing it. It was at an old gym I went to, CrossFit Proven.
Okay.
With,
Shout out to Matt Chambers.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt?
What's up, Matt? My brother was working there at the time, so he told me and my dad to come in. It was the first day, and he was done coaching, and it was at like 7 o'clock at night. And I remember he had us do something. I think it was like kettlebell swings and box jumps, just something easy, simple couple, and it just killed us. And that's when we kind of fell in love with it. Like that was the first time.
Whoa!
Went home really sore. That was always the worst part, coming home sore.
Sure.
But, I couldn't tell you the exact reps or anything.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Remember those kettlebell swings and box jumps?
Oh, yeah,
for
I
sure.
remember that a lot.
Nice.
As you were talking about, like 4 or 5 workouts a day, training nonstop. One has to wonder what your diet's like, what your recovery's like. Do you take supplements? Do you take earth-fed muscle?
I don't take earth-fed muscle, but
Not yet.
I should try it. My diet is not the greatest. I'm not a person that has a very strict diet. Like I watch, like how much I eat or what foods I shouldn't be eating. Like sometimes I go a little overboard and I have to stop. But I don't feel the need to worry about that right now.
What's your favorite thing to like just chow down on that you have a hard time being like, okay,
probably Reese's peanut butter cups or like Cheez-Its or something. Something awesome.
Chocolate peanut butter.
I ate them last
It's
night.
my favorite.
Yeah.
I can't say no to
Awesome.
chocolate peanut butter.
Yep. And I don't feel like I need to pay attention to that quite yet because I don't want to kill myself over it. Like I don't.
Yeah. And you're young and you can.
Yeah. Like it's not something I want to worry about right now. It's something I can worry about 10 years from now.
Yeah. Especially when you're his age.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so I think, I think that's a normal thing. We, want to develop at, a young age, having a bad relationship with food. I think it's important to have a healthy diet plan, and maybe as you move forward, you might see like, wow, that might be place a little more importance because that's something you actually have control over, where a lot of other things you don't. Getting back to, you said your brother, Casey, was a coach at the CrossFit gym where you did your first workout.
Yeah.
So it's not like you just found, like I found CrossFit online, and so you kind of had that kind of going on in your family. So obviously he was a coach, he'd been to a level 1 instructor, he's doing some workouts. Tell me a little bit about Casey and his influence on you.
Casey was pretty much the reason we started. Casey was doing CrossFit, I think, for a year and a half, 2 years before we started, and he was as I said, he was coaching at Proven, and me and my dad were looking to start something. He kind of pulled us into it, and he was the influence on us starting it, and he was also the influence on how we got to another level in competing and took it more seriously. Because when we started to compete, he was competing at regionals too.
Nice.
And that was awesome to watch, and that was a huge push, especially for me to start taking this more seriously.
So did you get to go down to regionals and kind of watch him when he got?
Yeah,
what year was
so
that
I
he went?
I don't know for sure. I think he was a 4-time regional athlete. I think he was 2012.
We had a team down there. I remember seeing him down there on Proven's team.
He was down there on a team in 2012, I think, and then he went individual in 2013. And then individual in 2015.
So that's a really great experience then when you're like newer and you're first getting the bug to see how these other athletes are performing.
Yeah.
Because I think, sometimes we get people who don't know about the games or don't really care about the competitive side. They get to be really good in their own gym, but we're like kind of tunnel vision. Then all of a sudden we go to, we encourage people to go to competitions because I think it's really cool to, put yourself out there. It's just another test. Way to meet people, like-minded individuals. I think that's the fun of it, of competition. And you can learn a lot about yourself, when you're being tested. The equipment in your gym is always the same, right? Everybody's got their favorite pull-up bar, their favorite spot to go to. I remember one year we went to a beach, and we did, a lot of us from the gym, we went to a beach and did a competition. It was like, completely different experience. You're on the sand, there's sand everywhere, the salt and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's very cool that you got to have that input so early, that influence, seeing regional type athletes, and of course what do you think about how things have changed from, being young and seeing regionals in the early, I mean, I remember going to the 2010 sectionals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I think it was
crazy.
2010 or was that 2009?
I don't remember.
I don't know. It was early on.
Yeah,
I
did it in
remember.
2010.
Right? And I remember being there, and that, and then they did away with that the next year. They started with you. Where do you think? How do you feel about how CrossFit has changed, like from
Very
as
big.
early
Yeah.
to now, like going to regionals or competing at your level and actually going to the games? Like, what's different?
I think the level of competing has changed a lot in the aspect of you always see new people coming in every year. Like I remember watching regionals in 2013 and 2014. It was like the same people in each region made it, like the top three. Like you had Ben Smith who always made it, Scott Panchik returning always made it. And then now you have new people coming in like this year with the super regionals. You have two regions combined and you have the young kids like Cody Moody who just started or just got his name out there and made it. And people are just getting better because when regionals was first around, you kind of knew who would make it and then who was just there to have fun.
Right.
And now regionals is turning into like everybody wants to make it. Like
Sure.
And everyone's doing whatever they can to make it.
Yeah. And it's just the competition level has gone up amazingly since 2012, 2013 regionals.
That's
It's
crazy. Yeah.
So talk about the difference between last year at the games and this year at the games. What was so different from being in sunny California to cloudy Midwest?
It was a lot more fun this year, I would say, just because last year being in California, we kind of went earlier than everybody else, like the individuals, so nothing was really going on that time in those 3 days. But this year was more fun just because I knew people going in, and Madison, it worked out great. I think it was very well run. There was a lot of people there, a lot was going on while we were competing, and it was a great time being able to compete next to the big name athletes and warm up next to all the teams and all of them. And
did you make friends with any of those guys you competed against last year? You still like stay in touch with them?
So we had 5 of us from last year make it this year, and I was friends with all of them. Oh, great! So we became good friends, and that was the best part about it. Because going in last year, I didn't know anybody. So going in, I was just like, I didn't make any friends really last year in the beginning, like not knowing people. But then this year,
sure, you're there to compete. Like, you're not there to be this guy's buddy a little bit. I mean, there's still the fun of competition and things, but I think there's different kinds of athletes. Some athletes are very like, I'm coming in, I'm going to focus on me. I'm not here to make friends. I want to crush the guy next to me. And then there's kind of embracing like, hey, let's just you can keep it.
And last year it was more like that. It was more everybody was there to compete and like we weren't joking around as much, which I understand. But this year is a lot different. People were there to compete, but all 20 of us that were there, we were having a good time while we were doing it. Like we were joking around, having fun, and that was always fun.
Great. So, like when you finished the Open, where were you seated to go in to the games? Like, I know they take the top 20.
Top 20 from the qualifiers.
What top 20?
So
16 to 17-year-olds, right? And then there was another younger age bracket, 14 to 15. That's what you were in last year, right? So now you moved up a notch. Now you're like the young guy in the, and at this age in development, I mean, that could be that's a
year makes a big difference.
Huge difference at your age, hormonally and developmentally, and where people are coming in. Like some guys could be just coming in at 16, maybe. Probably not at this level, but maybe. And then you got guys who are like, their birthday, they're breaking right underneath the birthday cutoff, and they're going to be 18. They're going to be going maybe RX trying to make regionals, as an individual RX male next year. So, what do you think was big differences that way for you as a competitor versus like somebody who's got a year on you, age-wise, developmentally? Where do you think man, I know your gymnastic skills are good. You're a really strong guy, but what do you think was the keeping the distance between you and
the main separator? I would think is like just strength and all. Like the 17-year-olds, they have a year more under their belt and they're just stronger. Like for me, I'm not a strong weightlifter. Like that's never been like a good skill of mine. Like I'm still waiting to build on strength.
Sure, you're like,
And,
what people call that man strength or whatever.
Yeah.
But you did snatch how much?
250.
215 pounds. So that's like
How much do you weigh?
170, I think.
Yeah, that's not like weight. That's competitive.
That's
Close to
45 pounds, 50 pounds over your body weight.
Yeah.
Right. On top of the run, swim, run you had done before that, right? And was there another event, or was that your second? Snatch was the second event. So just to kind of keep that in perspective, 215 pounds. Now the top person that won that event did 291.
291, which is ridiculous.
That's
crazy.
Now I got to talk to your dad a little bit. Now it's hard when you're on camera. The camera adds or takes away. It's hard to tell how big these guys are. I remember at Wadapalooza 2 years ago, I met Josh Bridges, and when you're watching on the camera and everybody kind of the camera stays the same angle, and I remember. Oh my God, there's Josh Bridges. And he's like,
he is a small guy.
And I was like, wow, the guy's really strong. He's really fit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but he was like,
Very small.
he's very small. So
short countback.
the guy who did this 291 snatch, I mean, how big was this guy?
He wasn't a lot bigger than us. He was more cut. Like he was a very strong, cut person. But I can't imagine he weighed more than 20 pounds than me.
Okay.
So he just has
makes a difference. For
he
sure.
has that raw strength. Like he was a very well built person, but I think he just has the raw strength in him to really just snatch 290 pounds as a teenager.
That was crazy. Pretty amazing. So where were you seated when you got done? So we do the open, and that's the first process. So you're in the top. You're in the top
I was fourth after the open. I was in the top
in this region.
In the world.
In the world. Excuse me. All right. So in the world, out of I looked up the numbers the other day. It's like 3,000, I think, 39 16 to 17-year-old boys,
somewhere around there.
men, boys, whatever, young adults, and you're top 5. So that's in itself, it's huge accomplishment.
I had
like
a great open.
whatever percent.
Yeah,
Great.
my open, all the workouts I did a lot better than I thought it would, and that was really good.
So after the open, they take the top 200 in the world, go on to the online qualifier, and that's where you get to compete in your own gym, and then they videotape that, and then they take the top 20 out of that for your division, right?
Yep.
So where were you seated when you went into the games?
So I took 20th.
Okay.
Out of the qualifier.
So you were like the last seated spot?
Yeah, I was the last seated spot. I got very lucky. My open placement pretty much, that saved me because I counted it as one of the scores.
Sure.
And out of the 4 events, I just had one really bad one. We did the Queen ladder from 2016, that open workout, and that just crushed me against everybody else.
You think that was a size or a strength thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I'm not good at that. I'm not good at weightlifting compared to other people.
Not yet.
And not yet. I'm hoping this year I will be, but
work on that for sure.
That really set me back and really dropped me in place.
But overall, I guess my perspective is I looked at where you came in at different events and things, and you did really awesome. If you came in and were seated in 20th at a rest around those other guys, you ended up finishing 18th, which is not 20th.
Yeah.
So the idea that you actually moved up a spot now in that round, I think is really, again, all of it's just to get there, the big show.
Oh yeah,
is an
It's hard to do. It's very hard to do.
So hard to do. So congratulations. Thank you. If you were, well, I don't know. I don't have any more questions. I mean, I could sit here and talk to you all day about your training and things like that. But thanks for taking out your time.
Yeah,
Thanks
a lot for coming
I'm really
on.
interested. I'm glad you're here at our gym. I think it's a nice thing to have that kind of spawn that kind of inspiration and stuff with other people. People see you working out. Now maybe they know a little bit about Haines.
Yeah, that's the whole point of
that kid over there working out 5
No one
exactly
knew me.
6
No one
times
knew
in a
me
row.
when I was here.
But that's okay. You're new, and maybe they'll meet you at the anniversary party,
which is
I'll be
on
here.
September 9th. It's a Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah. So,
I'll be here.
and but it's great having you here. Thanks for
having me.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, very
Congratulations again. I look forward to big things again next year.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for next year.
Awesome. It's cool.
Fun.
All right, Jim, you got anything else? We got to wrap up.
Yeah, I think we're good, Steve. We'll be back next week at our normal time.
Normal time on
Thursday,
Thursday, 1:30. Remember, you can always rewatch the video. If you can't make it live, you just click on. It really helps to like it, share it. This is really our new platform for trying to get some information out to the rest of the membership. We're not only going to have feature guys like Evan, but we'll be talking to some of the other coaches and owners, get the backstory of how CrossFit Westchester came to be, talk to some of our longest time members, what's keeping them here, talk to some new members. One of the things we're doing is the New You Challenge. And in that New You Challenge, it's one of our ways to bring new members in to go through what we call an Elements or Foundations or an on-ramp program. We've been doing that for a number of years, just one-on-one. But now this gives us another avenue to bring in groups who maybe can't afford, personalized one-on-one training. And so it brings the barrier of entry down just one more because, and it puts us in front of a bunch of people that we might not, they see CrossFit and go, but with the marketing, it kind of puts us in front of a whole new group. So that's going to be starting up again right in September. So look for that on our Facebook and Instagram. We'll be talking more about that. If you know somebody who wants to be in the New You Challenge, tell them just keep an eye out for that. And then I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning on our, maybe we'll go live then on our road trip down to North Carolina.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Where are you guys going to North Carolina?
So we're going to North Carolina for the supplements that we carry here in the gym.
Oh, okay.
So we use those products that are made by a company called Isotonics, and they are a powder formulation that mixes into a drink. So some people can't or don't like taking pills or tablets. There's absorption issues that go with taking things that way. So we have a lot of
But that's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. We're going to get into that. So
awesome.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next week.
Maybe we'll get like a theme or an intro song coming on soon.
Soon.
All right. Thanks for everybody.
All right, guys.